You know that specific feeling when you're packed? The hotel checkout is done, you've handed in the key cards,
Oh, yeah.
and you're just standing by the door just waiting for the taxi. You're mentally already home, right?
Absolutely. The limbo phase, you're done with the vacation, you're ready to get back to reality.
That is the exact vibe we are starting with today. We're looking at the USS Arawyn.
Mm-hmm.
The crew is rested, the readiness reports are all blinking green, the captain's looking at the view screen. By all accounts, they should be warping off to the next adventure.
But they aren't. They are not going anywhere.
Not a single light year.
No, they are absolutely parking the brake. Because today's deep dive is all about what happens when that all systems green board is, well, lying to you.
Right.
We're looking at the Arawyn orbiting Lathira IV, and they are paralyzed by two massive invisible problems.
Yeah.
One is biological, ticking away on the planet's surface.
And the other is mechanical, buried deep in the ship's own guts. And what I love about this stack of logs we have today, we've got medical reports, engineering tickets, personal journals, is the theme connecting them. It's about silent inheritance.
I like that phrase.
Whether it's a virus hiding in a vaccinated body, or a manufacturing defect in a brand new ship, or even a secret a crew member is terrified to admit, nothing here is as stable as it looks.
It's a study in invisible fault lines.
Mm.
Everything looks fine on the surface.
Yeah.
Shiny ship, healthy crew, but underneath,
Yeah.
the structural integrity is failing. Biological, mechanical, and psychological.
So let's start where the stakes are most immediate, the planet's surface, Lathira IV.
Okay.
We're looking at the logs of a Dr. Ilian Morin at the local medical clinic. Now, usually when we talk about planetary medical crises in these deep dives, we're talking about, exploding plagues or zombies.
So the dramatic, cinematic stuff.
Yeah.
But this is terrifying, precisely because of how quiet it is.
How so?
Dr. Morin is examining a toddler, Kellen Varek. And the first thing she notes isn't a seizure or a fever spike. It's the weight of the kid.
Heavy against his mother's shoulder, she writes. That stuck with me.
And she uses this phrase, practiced stillness. That stopped me in my tracks.
A toddler shouldn't be practiced at being still.
No. That suggests the child is instinctively conserving energy because something is fundamentally wrong inside.
She finds a rash, but then she spots a tremor in the boy's hands.
Huh.
And that's when the alarm bells go off, right?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Because that tremor is the signature of noverency.
And noverency is supposed to be, what, a ghost story?
Pretty much. It's a pathogen that was eradicated. This is like a doctor in modern London seeing a case of smallpox walk through the door. It just shouldn't happen.
So naturally the first thought is, did the vaccine fail? Is he unvaccinated?
Exactly. But she runs the panels, and this is the impossible diagnosis. The kid is fully vaccinated.
Okay, but...
And here is the kicker. Dr. Morin's logs show that the child's immune system actually sees the virus.
it recognizes it.
Yes. The memory cells are there. The antibodies are present. The security guards are watching the monitors.
But they aren't opening the door.
They aren't pulling the trigger. It's a silent failure of the immune response. The body knows the enemy is there, but isn't fighting back hard enough to stop it. It's like the immune system is just given up.
That is chilling. It's not just an infection. It's a betrayal of the body's own defense architecture.
It is. And this isn't an isolated case, is it?
No. It escalates fast. Dr. Morin pulls in Dr. Rivas from the Solara Research Institute on the planet, and they find a pattern.
It's targeting the developing immune systems.
Yeah.
Children under 10, parents, older siblings.
Totally asymptomatic.
So the adults are walking around fine, potentially carrying it, while the kids are deteriorating.
Exactly. Which
Yeah.
implies one of two things.
Right. Either the virus has mutated to specifically bypass the vaccine in young hosts, or there's something environmental on Lathira IV, specifically suppressing the pediatric immune response.
And the clock is ticking. Rivas notes that if that hand tremor isn't treated...
It progresses to total motor control loss. And the standard treatments. Completely useless. The standard antivirals, Genevira, Nexavir, they're like throwing water on a grease fire. Nothing happens.
This is the moment Dr. Rivas calls the Arawyn. And I have to say, Captain Corbin's response here is refreshing. No bureaucracy.
No, she realizes this is way above a local clinic's pay grade and just throws her medical department at it.
Dr. Rhea Amberlin and Dr. Claire Dunross.
And they aren't just sending down hyposprays and hoping to the best. They need data. If the vaccine is offering partial protection, which is why the kids aren't dead yet, the virus has shifted via genetic drift.
So they need a control group.
They do, which leads to the crew getting voluntold to give blood.
The classic Starfleet volunteer roster. Everyone report to sickbay.
But it's scientifically sound.
Hmm.
The crew was vaccinated off-world. If the crew's immune response holds up when exposed to samples, the problem is local to Lathira IV.
And if the crew starts getting sick,
Well, then they're dealing with a supervirus that could wipe out the sector.
it's a clever way to isolate the variable. Is it the people or is it the place?
Precisely. And while the medical team is racing against time to save these kids, you'd assume the ship itself is the safe zone, a sanctuary in orbit.
You'd assume. But the Arawyn is a new ship, and apparently she has a glass jaw.
Not even close to a sanctuary. The Arawyn is brand new, right out of the yards, and she has what the logs are calling personality quirks.
That is a very polite way of saying the tactical systems are hallucinating.
Seeing ghosts, as the crew puts it. We're looking at the logs from the tactical station. The targeting grid is pulling 4.2% more power than spec.
Now, 4.2% doesn't sound like a disaster. It sounds like a rounding error. I mean, my phone battery fluctuates more than that.
In a warp core or a tactical grid, 4.2% is massive.
Mm-hmm.
That extra energy has to go somewhere.
Okay.
If they fired a full salvo with that kind of overdraw, the feedback loop wouldn't just fry the phasers. It could blow a whole breach on Deck 8.
So the ship would effectively shoot herself in the foot.
Worse, she'd shoot herself in the spine.
Enter Lieutenant Commander Grayson McKinney. He's the new Chief Tactical Officer. He walks onto the bridge, ready to command his shiny new station.
And finds it dead dark, turned off.
And there is a yellow sticky note attached to the console.
On a Sovereign-class starship bridge, the pinnacle of Federation technology, and it's being managed by office supplies.
And the note says, "Do not initialize. You'll fry the dorsal coupling. Come to main engineering, Harlan."
I love this moment. It tells you everything you need to know about Chief Engineer Elias Harlan.
He's practical.
He doesn't care about protocol. He cares about not frying the ship.
So McKinney goes down to engineering, probably expecting a fight. "Why did you turn off my console? I have drills to run." But instead,
He finds a crisis. Harlan is running his crew on 4-shift rotations. They are exhausted.
why?
It turns out the shipyard installed unshielded EPS couplings.
Explain that for us. What does an unshielded coupling actually mean for the ship?
Okay, imagine your house wiring has no insulation, and you try to run a microwave, a hairdryer, and a welder at the same time.
Sparks fly.
The electricity arcs. On a starship, those arcs are high-energy plasma. Harlan has to replace these things one by one, manually, in the crawl spaces of decks 9, 12, and 17.
That sounds like miserable work.
It's hot, it's cramped, and it's dangerous. And his team is running on fumes.
And this is where McKinney impresses me. He doesn't pull rank. He doesn't demand his console be fixed first.
Yeah. No. He looks at the board, sees the problem, and says, I have a tactical team. They have hands. Use them.
He sends his officers to do the grunt work, crawling through tubes to replace couplings.
While he personally writes a software patch for the targeting grid, it's a great example of breaking down silos.
All right.
Usually tactical and engineering are at each other's throats. I need more power versus I can't give it to you. But here, they bond over the fact that the shipyard built them a lemon.
It's leadership in the trenches. We are all in this mess together.
Exactly. And that in this together mentality is crucial. Because while the hardware is being fixed, the wetware, the crew's minds, are struggling too.
This brings us to the third fault line, the human element. Specifically, the security chief, Lieutenant Iev Flemia.
A fascinating character study. Iev has recently developed strong, empathic, maybe even psionic abilities, but he can't control them yet.
He describes it in his personal log as walking through a fishbowl.
Right. He's wearing an implant to dampen it, constantly monitored by Dr. Amberlin. He's raw. He's overwhelmed by other people's emotions.
Imagine walking into a room and feeling everyone's anxiety, fear, and hunger all at once.
It would be awful, which leads to a very tense encounter in the gym. Iev is practicing martial arts, trying to center himself, and in rocks Lieutenant Ryan Collingway, an engineer.
And Iev gets hit with a wall of emotion.
He describes it as a storm of suspicion and panic radiating off Ryan.
Ryan tries to leave, probably terrified because the security chief is staring at him like he's a ghost, but Iev physically stops him.
Yeah, he demands to know why Ryan is so afraid.
Now this crosses a line, right? Iev is using his ability, intentionally or not, to sniff out guilt without any evidence.
And there is guilt, massive guilt.
We learn that Ryan was involved in a misadventure on a previous mission involving the Borg.
The official story, the one Ryan told a Starfleet tribunal, was that he accidentally shot his friend, Lieutenant Menden, in the crossfire.
A tragic accident, fog of war.
Except Iev senses the lie. And under that psychic pressure, Ryan cracks. He tells the truth.
The truth is heavy.
It is. Ryan admits that Mendon wasn't just caught in crossfire. He was being assimilated. He begged Ryan to kill him.
And Ryan did it.
He did. But the reason he lied is the key here. Ryan says he did it to save Mendon's family.
Because Mendon was Benzite.
Exactly. This is a crucial cultural detail. On Benzar, there are strict, almost religious anti-assimilation views. If it came out that Mendon was assimilated, his family would be shamed, ostracized.
Wow. So Ryan took the blame of negligent homicide.
Effectively to protect his friend's legacy.
That is a staggering moral burden to carry. He let herself be branded incompetent to save a family's honor.
It is. And now Iev holds that secret. He points out the discrepancy. You lied to a tribunal? That's a career-ending offense.
But, and this is interesting, he doesn't arrest Ryan on the spot.
No, he just orders him to quarters.
It's a gray area. Iev is acting as an investigator, but he's also clearly affected by the emotional weight of Ryan's confession.
It ties back to that theme of invisible fault lines. Ryan looks like a competent engineer, but inside, he's crushed by this secret.
Just like the ship looks fine, but has faulty wiring.
And just like the kids look healthy, but have a faulty immune response.
Speaking of invisible things,
Yep.
We have to briefly mention the science department before we wrap up the analysis.
Ah, yes. Lieutenant Miraquin.
She gets assigned what looks like the most boring job in the universe by Commander Sorvak.
Usage anomalies and replicators and waste disposal. It sounds like busy work to keep her out of the way while the ship is being repaired.
Go count the garbage cans, Lieutenant.
Exactly. But she finds something.
She does. She finds strange data. Some units aren't being used at all. Others have weird spikes that don't match the crew manifest.
It seems like a loose thread.
It is. And in a story like this, loose threads usually unravel something big later on.
It suggests the ship's systems might be hiding even more than just tactical glitches. It reinforces that feeling that nothing on the Arawyn is quite what it seems.
So let's zoom out. We have the Arawyn sitting in orbit. She's fighting on 3 fronts.
First, the biological front. A mutated virus, Novarin C, attacking children who should be immune.
The doctors are racing to figure out if it's the planet or the virus itself that's changed.
Then you have the mechanical front.
A targeting grid that sees ghosts and unshielded power lines that could blow the ship apart.
You have McKinney and Harlan basically rebuilding the ship's nervous system on the fly.
And third, the psychological front.
A security chief struggling to control his own mind, and an engineer trapped by a noble lie about a mercy killing.
It really comes down to a standard of care, doesn't it? That's the phrase in Captain Corbin's log.
It is. And think about what that means. Standard of care isn't just about following the rule book. Dr. Morin could have ignored that toddler's tremor.
It was subtle. She could have signed the discharge papers and said, he's just tired.
But she didn't.
And Harlan could have ignored the couplings. He could have said, not my job, shipyard's fault, I'll file a ticket.
But he didn't. He crawled into the tubes.
And Iev could follow the strict letter of the law and throw Ryan in the brig for perjury.
But he's pausing. He's considering the context. Everyone is trying to hold the line against chaos.
It feels like the Arawyn is a ship where everyone is trying to do the right thing, but the universe is making it incredibly difficult.
That's the essence of good drama, isn't it? The conflict isn't good versus evil here. It's competence versus entropy.
Yeah.
It's the crew trying to keep things from falling apart when the natural state of the universe is decay.
As the ship sits there, waiting for the vaccine data and the tactical repairs, you have to wonder about the lasting impact.
That's the big question for me. When the Arawyn finally leaves Lathira IV, what are they taking with them?
You mean besides the cargo?
I mean, are they leaving the virus behind, or is it going to manifest in the crew later? And socially, now that Iev knows Ryan's secret, that tension doesn't just vanish.
Trust has been fractured.
And the ship itself. You can patch software, but can you trust a ship that was built with so many errors?
Every time they go into warp, are they going to be wondering if another coupling was missed?
Exactly. They might warp away, but they're carrying the infection, whether it's emotional, biological, or mechanical, with them.
It's a powerful reminder that we never really leave our problems completely behind.
Yeah.
We just carry them to the next star system.
And hope we have the tools and the friends to fix them when we get there.
Well, on that cheerful note, check your immunizations and shield your power couplings, folks. Thanks for listening to this deep dive into the logs of the USS Arawyn.
It's a fascinating look at how a starship crew functions when the enemy isn't a Klingon bird of prey, but a microscopic virus and a missing shield on a power coupling.
Sometimes those are the hardest battles to win. Until next time, keep your sensors sweeping. Catch you on the next deep dive.